Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm Freebie Wits, your host, and next to me on the internet is my good friend. Okay, hang on, I messed that up. It's my good friend Sai. Sai, say hello.
Say hello.
Th- th- that, th- Even on a technicality, that doesn't technically work. How dare
I
you?
said hello.
Th-
I
th-
just added say in front of it.
th- that is not my intention, and you know it.
Definitely not.
Every single time. One day, one day, not
One day
today.
I will do it right, and you will jump at me like, "Why did you screw it up again?" Only to realize I have been pulling the Looney Tunes prank all this time.
Am I the Daffy Duck?
That is the plan.
There are worse cartoon characters to be. All right, so last time we were rescuing Jumper from the tree and all the bandits. They returned back to Silvertoes. I do want to put a few more extra details for Silvertoes farm. More specifically, like his actual farm. Uh, So if we go to his little map there, we'll see the little patch of 5-leaf clovers. Can we say, for all intents and purposes, all the clovers are like 3-leaf clovers right now because they've been harvested recently?
I mean, that's probably for the best. Yeah.
Uh,
That way, no one gets the smart idea of trying to just
yeah, Ting.
steal some five leaves. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like, yes, we want moral characters, but we don't want to, police their actions. And if a like if you run a campaign and you don't want to just like restrict everyone's morals, you will have to deal with the eventuality of someone trying to steal something they're not meant to have yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we do just say like, hey, the clovers are three-leaf clovers at the moment because all the special ones have been harvested,
Mm-hmm.
helps helps nip any potential issues in the bud a little bit easier. And I mean, our good old farmer is very lucky, so actually stealing something off his person is going to be quite tricky. So yeah, I don't mind if you make that little adjustment,
I
and
was.
like this way you can keep that mystery of the five-leaf clover a little bit longer. You can see like the clover patch when you arrive, but the observant person will see, huh, there are no like four-leaf or five-leaf clovers.
Do we want to actually make it so there's a single 4-leaf or 5-leaf clover in there, like based on a perception check?
I I think it's fine if on like a really high roll they see a single four-leaf clover.
Perception check, let's say 20.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like a crit, but like a DC 20,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I meant. Yeah, DC 20. Uh, play one clover. Do we want the
And
four-leaf clover to actually do anything?
if the
Oh,
player picks it, they get an inspiration point.
yep. Okay, okay.
Uh, Now that's a D&D 5th edition mechanic that no one uses. So let's try to make them use it.
I feel like it's a lot more popular ever since Baldur's Gate 3 because
They
they
did.
yeah, they did the house rule of inspiration points can be pulled, but they went one step further and said they can be pulled by the entire party,
Yeah.
which is not like before we even played Baldur's Gate, Sai and I house ruled like, yeah, you can pull your inspiration points. Like each individual person has their own pool. So you can't just
And
use
and
everyone
like
else's.
you hand them out a little bit more liberally than just once a campaign.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because if a player has just one inspiration point the entire campaign, or maybe two if they're lucky, a player is never going to spend that resource.
It's just too valuable.
It's and the thing is, it is basically just a reroll.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like or technically even it's meant to just be advantage.
Yeah, I was about to say it lets you roll 2 dice or cancel out a
Yeah,
disadvantage. Like,
which is like that's useful, yes, but by standard rules, it is literally just give yourself advantage or negate disadvantage.
mm,
I
mm,
like adding the rule that it can be used to reroll
mm.
because it adds a bit more of an intrinsic value.
I think that's once again like something popularized by Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate definitely popularized that, and I think that is probably the best use for inspiration. Without getting into even more like little homebrewy, fun little things, I do think allowing players to use inspiration to reroll is just really nice.
Mm, mm.
And
Absolutely.
giving more than one allows them to feel like, ah, yes, I can actually afford to use this in desperate or like fun times.
I think I think inspiration is just a good. It's just a nice mechanic. Like it's a good way to reward players without giving them something more tangible and permanent, like experience
Well,
points and treasures.
base inspiration feels very lacking, but with little tweaks here and there, it does become quite a nice reward.
I still feel like having a reroll just feels good no matter what. Like
Yeah.
it's like an acknowledgement that the player has done something cool. Like even if it's everybody likes a pat on the back, essentially. This is
Hmm.
just a pat on the back that happens to do something.
Yeah. And it's like once you realize like, hey, like I give out inspiration points, for example, for like really cool roleplay feats, or I'll give out inspiration points for recapping what happened last time.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you start rewarding players for doing something, it is a positive reinforcement.
What do they call it? What's that French dog thing called? Pavlov. Yeah, you Pavlov them into doing good behaviors.
Yeah. It's like do good thing, get good thing in return.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, treating your players like a dog. Um, I mean,
Probably
sometimes players are smarter than a dog. Sometimes they're not. That is the wheel of players. And I will admit there are plenty of times where I am very stupid at the table as well.
it's just one of those things. We put our blinders on when we're players.
And
When we're
and
with friends, we're too relaxed and we don't. Our brains just decide to, you know what? We're in good company. We're safe. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Our brains just shut down. It's a natural thing.
you it's worse when you actually play like a no think character as well. Like if you're playing like a barbarian, right?
Yep. No
Like
think. That you know what? That's gonna be my next barbarian. His name is just gonna be No Think.
because it's like if you're playing a barbarian, that like
There
barbarians can be charismatic, they can be smart.
there
But
are
a lot of people,
socially accepted rules on what you have to do if you play a barbarian with no intelligence.
and it's like you getting to lean into that is fun in its own right,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, it's
Just
fantastic.
just being the dumb barbarian who like doesn't understand like how a doorknob works.
Like, oh, it's even better because it's a like creative exercise on like, okay, once you do succeed intelligence check, how do you show that? That have I told you the time I accidentally solved a mystery as a stupid barbarian with like 6 or 7 intelligence?
I don't know if I remember this story.
You weren't in this game, but essentially I was playing a barbarian. I think his name was Crunk or Dave. No, he was Dave the Barbarian. So named after Dave the Barbarian.
Yep.
It's that kind of campaign. And a bunch of sheep were being kidnapped, right? And we were all
Hmm.
thinking of plans on like what to do and how to stop the people kidnapping the sheep. And I just realized, oh wait, hang on, Jump is the sheep here. Um,
Yep.
not related, mind you. Um, so they were saying, hey, the drow are kidnapping the sheep. So what do we do? So it's like Dave, dress up like sheep. It's like, so at night, Dave dressed like sheep. Drow, take sheep. Drow, take Dave. Then Dave, stop Drow. And they're like, but if they take the sheep, you do know they kill the sheep, right, Dave? But Dave, not sheep. Nobody could argue with that logic because it's true. And then he disguised himself with the sheep, and the drow did actually kidnap him, and we stopped the drow from there. So dumb.
Dumb plans are only dumb if they do not work.
Anyways, we spent like I feel like 10 minutes talking about this stuff. Let's get back to our sheep napping game.
Yeah,
So,
we should. We got to get Jumper out of the forest.
he's in the forest. The players have defeated. What was her name again? Sasha, I think it was. What did we call her? Sasha.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Um, I've got to
yeah,
put a
Sasha.
note here. It's like so when we do make this a proper PDF, this part will also have like the bandit stats and Sasha's stats and a little note about Sasha, how she can like level up if she gets away and such. Um,
Hmm.
so anyways, the players will hang on. I see what I've done here. Yeah. Okay, we're all good. Um, so the players presumably rescue Jumper. Jumper may have even helped during the battle, depending on how things go, because he's actually got stats as a sheep. Kind of great. Where is Jumper's character sheet? There you are.
Yeah,
He's
with
got
a
his
lovely little sheep,
jumping
sheep symbol.
jumping charge, ingested lock. I really like that. Um, and presumably you go back to Silvertoe's farm and collect your reward, which, if I remember correctly, we were going to make it a jumper, right? And some potions, possibly.
Yeah,
Um, actually, we didn't call it. We called it a jacket, I think. We call it actually.
I think we use the term Jumper.
We did use the jumper's jumper.
Yeah, we'll give a woolly Jumper as a reward, as a bonus, because he's so happy to get Jumper back.
Okay, so
But yeah.
all right, players turn jumper. Uh,
Well,
silver toe. Yep.
do we want to just make it a quick little walk back with Jumper? Do we want to make it a bit more complicated? Because we
Mm,
are going to be in the middle of a forest, potentially even at night.
you think? Oh, that's a good point. Uh, okay, so
Like
put that down.
it doesn't have to be like a full, um, crazy experience. Because we are like after defeating Sasha and the Vanna group, the players get to level up. So we
Hmm.
can do something a little bit more dangerous as a bit of fun. It's like a showing of like the players are stronger. We could turn it into
We
like a
want the.
skill check sequence even.
I mean, the place that they rescued Jumper from potentially could have a tent set up and like that already.
Yeah,
So I mean, this is a campground. We could say that the players, uh, depending on time of day, the group might choose to camp at the bandit clearing. Campfire camp has already been set up to some degree.
yeah. Because if it's super late, I could foresee potential dangers in the forest.
Hmm. DM can encourage slash mention this possibility players. I think it's good to like guide the dungeon master who runs this that this is a thing that they can choose to do.
Yeah,
Um, please remember slash note the time of day slash night when Jumper was found and rescued. This is essentially like assuming that Jumper is being rescued, but I think it's very unlikely. I think the bandits would target the players first, so the players would probably go down before Jumper does. At which point, you've got a whole different problem. But
well, like at the very least, the bandits are trying to use Jumper as a hostage.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like killing Jumper goes against their goals.
yeah. And they can't even use him as a proper hostage because he's in the tree, so they can't even reach
Yeah,
him. Um, So I think there's two possibilities from here, two branches, and it leads all back to the same place with the players, returning to Silvertoe's farm.
Yeah.
Um, will
Objective is simple:
yeah.
get Jumper back.
So either they'll have a camping thing, in which case they have to have watch, and maybe a random encounter happens then, or they try to make their way back to Silvertoe's farm, potentially while exhausted, if it's like late enough in the day.
Um, Part of me feels like this would be a good opportunity for a simple encounter, but
Okay.
like a different simple encounter depending on their choice.
All right. What do you think? What kind of encounter we?
Well, I'm thinking like this would be one of those good ones where it's like, okay, if the party immediately try to take Jumper back and it's during the day, they might get like ambushed by like a bear or something along the way. If it's at night and they try to do it, maybe it's a small pack of wolves, and if they camp, I'm not too sure, but something, something different for that. Basically, a little spice, a little bit of difference. But I think it's better because we just had a crazy boss fight against the bandits. That whatever they meet at the moment is nothing too crazy, but enough to kind of get that, hey, we have to protect Jumper, kind of like heart pumping, like a little bit.
Maybe
What would
like
be
a trio of wolves. That's
well,
pretty small.
the party have leveled up to level 2.
But maybe if four of them.
Maybe. I think same number of wolves as players is pretty fair at this point.
Okay. Number
Um,
equal to party minus jumper.
yeah.
Okay.
If it's just regular wolves,
They'll
they're like,
probably down,
they're, yeah, they're CR 1/4.
and the bear will
They,
go down pretty quickly. Like I've seen a party of three level one characters just take down a bear immediately, and I'm pretty sure one of them wasn't
like
required to be there.
if it is just a black bear, they'll be easy. If it is a brown bear, maybe slightly harder. And then there's technically the cave bear, which is stronger as well.
We want to make this
Uh,
a brown bear then?
Brown bear is CR1. He could be tough, but a party should be able to deal with him now at level 2 without too much trouble. But he could potentially hurt someone pretty bad if he gets a good hit off.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think a brown bear does put a bit of that like, oh no, because brown bear's claws they can hurt. Like they do 2d6 plus 4 damage
I'm just wondering
on a
if they
slash.
rest, will they still encounter the bear and the wolves depending on the time?
Um, I like part of me is like yes, but it would also be like early morning when they're traveling back, and I feel like if they have the encounter during the night, it's unfair to make them do another encounter
During
during
the
the early
day.
morning.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um, but I'm trying to see if I can't think of a good like what would be a good creature to attack during the night.
I have an idea. It won't even be an attack, it'll be a flavor thing. So that way we can have our cake and eat it too. So it'll be two encounters, but only one of
Ooh.
them will be combat. So I'm going to type this down.
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
players rest during the night, uh, ever is on watch, may pers- their perception check C 14, see an imp will immediately, on being noticed, panic and flee.
There we go. That's thinking of something good. Yeah.
Yeah, so they may not even know why the imp's there yet. They don't have any context that demons and devils are involved. Well, devils are involved yet, but this will be like if they roll well enough, this will be like one of their first clues.
Mm-hmm.
Because previously, there's also been the clue that oh, Sasha's been in contact with an imp and such like that. So this will be one of the spies.
Yeah. Um.
And then when they wake up the next morning, they can find the brown bear and beat him up.
So just a bit of an extra like spook during the night,
Yeah, yeah,
and then just the regular bound bear fight.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that works fine. Gives a little bit of variety depending on what time of day. Now, um, so another thing to consider is getting Jumper back to the farm. I feel like Jumper is an intelligent sheep. I have not actually looked at his stats to confirm that. Nope, Jumper is not an intelligent sheep. Wise, but definitely not intelligent. So how do we get Jumper back?
Well, he's charismatic. I'd assume he'd just follow the players because he's so grateful that he's been saved by them.
He's just like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I assume so. Actually, I have an idea.
Hmm.
Um, Jumper will follow players at a sedate pace due to being spooked by his earlier encounter the bandits. So, but here's the thing: if Jumper, however, smells jar of 5 clovers, will follow more animatedly.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. He smells a familiar scent, and that's like, oh yeah, I recognize the smell. Clovers.
Half speed. Jumper will follow the players at a sedate pace, half speed, due to be by his early encounter with the bandits. If Jumper, however, smells the jar of 5 leaf clovers, he will follow more animatedly, specifically uh, approaching slash being friendlier with ever has the jar. In which case, it's a mini game of trying to keep him away from the jar, because he will try to eat it. What do you think?
Could be fun.
So that could be a little minor challenge in getting Jumper back. It won't be too hard. Um, what else? Do you think we need to do anything more, or will we say after fighting the bear and all that, Jumper will be back home and everything will be all good?
Uh, I like part of me initially when I'm thinking about this was like we can make this a whole little thing, but I think no. I think a little bit of trouble getting Jumper back is fine because this like level of like adventure might be good for like helping expand the town
Like
because this town that we are taking place in. Oh my god, I'm trying to think.
Slate Town.
Slate Town. That's it. Like Slate. This is a good point to help like start showing off things in Slate Town.
I don't think we have to do it with Jumper specifically. They're on the
No,
outskirts of town.
yeah, no. I mean, like we should kind of try to get Jumper back to Silvertoe's farm, and not just make this entire level about Jumper
mm, mm, mm. Okay,
because
okay.
I want to develop Slate Town
All right,
as part of the adventure.
all right. Silvertoes will be overjoyed
Mhm.
and give the quest rewards as promised. All right. Which point? This point, players can return to Slate Town and give Al the jar of 5 clovers if they haven't already. Do we want to
Now,
say they get paid?
well, I mean, um, maybe give them like a minor payment. But before we just jump back to like, cool, we got jumping back to Silvertoe's farm, all that stuff. Now,
All
we
right,
did joke about it's nice to have maps that don't get involved in battles.
hang on. All right, so wait, what were we talking about again?
Basically, I was wondering, do we want to consider having something here at Silvertone's farm? Like,
One.
because like like we want to have an encounter here at Silvertone's farm as we're bringing Jumper back.
That's actually
It,
not a bad idea. Or maybe even after he's brought back and Silver Toes is talking to us.
yeah, because like there's tons of fun things we can do. Like we can come back to seeing Silvertoes is getting like shaken down. We can return and some fellows turn up as we're like returning Jumper. Um,
Oh,
we
I
could do something fun. Like we return Jumper, but Silvertoes is worried because he's gained an extra sheep somehow.
wait, what? Hang on. Like he has just another sheep or something?
And maybe this sheep is something dangerous.
Like, okay, so are you on the Roll20 map that I am?
I am on the Roll20 map, yes.
Okay, hang on. Is there a way? I think there is uh the
Well, you can
hint. Here we
easily
go.
just like put one of these sheep onto
There we go.
the black sheep.
Oh, just a random black sheep. I think okay, so if we were being taking this in a more simple direction, we could just make it that he's being shaken down by a bunch of bandits very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like the second that they're part of the same gang and everything like that. And the
Yeah.
players could figure out, hang on, that's actually pretty. The bunch of bandits we already fought, and now there's another group of bandits, and they're all wearing the same like I wouldn't say uniform, but they look like they belong together. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty big for a bandit gang, like what's going on here. Um,
Yeah.
but the black sheep, I kind of like that. What do we do with that if we do go this direction?
Because I was thinking, right? There's a couple of there's a couple of creatures that can like shape change. Um, Technically, imps can turn into like rats, ravens, spiders, type of stuff. Closets can turn into bats or toads or something. And I was thinking, we could do like something along the lines of like some sort of bandit that's like polymorph or something, or a devil that's polymorphed into to a sheep.
Yeah.
Um, like part of me was looking at like, yes, the mimic. The mimic can turn into objects, and so it's like there's a bunch of sheep, and one of them is just completely still. The good old plastic sheep, and
Like,
when you approach it and try to like reach out to it, it chomp. Or we can just have fun and create something of our own, wholly unique.
say it looks like a sheep, and when they get closer, it's like a dude.
I mean, we could have fun and make a were sheep.
Not even a were sheep, like literally just a dude
Is it
wearing a
dude?
sheep's outfit. It's like it looks like he's getting trying to come closer, but then like when you look at him, he freezes, like visibly freezes.
So it's a guy who's like used a disguise kit and like a bunch of wool to just.
But it's like dirty wool, so it's like that's why it's so dark.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So we got some sort of like infiltrator who's who's got like a
He's not,
pretty disguise.
not a good infiltrator, yeah.
No, a bad disguise, if you will.
Toes will then point out that they have an unwelcome guest if they haven't been noticed yet. Uh, we'll just say it's a DC 5 perception check. Perception.
I would say 10.
Okay, 10.
Because like it's got like we want it to be easy, but we don't want to make it like jokingly easy
Immediately. Okay, okay.
because that gives the fun that some we can have a situation where the entire party roll terribly, like sub 10, and now they're like surprised when the sheep man is revealed.
Approaching Clover Patch. Perception. So if they roll high enough, they can see that it's so they can see that it's just a guy in a suit costume, a sheep costume. What DC would that be? Just 15, you think?
Um, to like properly identify him, I'd say maybe 13.
13. Okay.
Because we are joking that it's not a great costume. He doesn't look like an actual sheep. He's no druid. Oh my god, that'd be the easiest way to actually do a sheep. It would just be to do a druid. Um, wow, we thought of a bunch of crazy ideas and not the one that's just easy to do.
Oh, I'm happy with this. It's a man.
Yep.
Well, maybe not just a man. It's a bandit.
Yeah.
A bandit. So it's
Because
just a
we introduced the chain gang.
yeah, yeah. This could
Um,
be like another member of the chain gang, and he's just trying to take a more subtle approach. He's just not very
hmm.
good at it. So the adventurers go in, they get rewarded, and then Silvertoe's like, "Yay, I'm so happy about Jumper." Oh wait, there's one more thing. You see that sheep over there? Everybody looks. Perception rolls are made. Yeah, that's not a real sheep. I mean, that's not even that. He just says it's suspicious.
Hmm.
Uh, Silvertoes will say that never sheep or and three of it other tasks. Players, check it out, please. Um, so do we just want to say this bandit like runs away if he's attacked, or like how
Hmm.
incompetent do we want this bandit to be? Because like this is a low level bandit on his own. He's never going to be able to take on a group of level 1 adventurers. Never mind a group of level 2 adventurers.
Or we do the opposite, and he's actually really good at fighting,
Oh,
and he's just an idiot.
just bad at the. Well, he could be like saying half orc or something like that.
Because like I was thinking a cool stat block to play around with that's really dangerous early on, not so much later on, but like makes for like a terrifying encounter. Is I think it's called the Berserker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Berserker is like a challenge rating 2. They normally use a great axe. We can change it out to a different weapon if you want. But
Happy with
they,
a great axe, yeah.
yeah, but they basically do the whole barbarian style of fighting. They reckless, they give themselves advantage, but everyone else can hit them better. And they don't like instead of like resisting damage, for simplicity's sake, they just have a lot of hit points.
How many hit points are we talking here?
Like, I believe a berserker has like 67 hit points.
Oh, geez. Do we want to
So,
make?
but like,
I kind
it's
of like
not as bad.
I kind of like the idea of this guy being a reoccurring character, just like Sasha, and eventually, like
Yeah,
we just have a bunch of bandit like
a,
characters
a
create a
bandit
party.
adventuring party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they'll like come back full force. So I think like he gets discovered, he'll roar a bunch, and then he'll like start attacking, but then like maybe he'll pause halfway through and go, "Oh wait, my cover's been blown," and runs off. Or even he may not even get to the attacking stage. Like,
yeah.
what do we want to do here? Do we actually want this to be an actual fight? Because like, or do we want the bandit guy to like go, "Oh no, Frog's cover's been blown," and he throws off the sheep costume and runs off?
I Oh, I like the idea of like that kind of stuff, but rather than him giving up immediately, he tries to fight, and as soon as he like takes one hit, he's like, wait, no, I'm getting hurt. Oh, bad, and then he
Runs
leaves.
off. Yes. Okay, so what do we want to call this guy?
Um,
Upon
hmm.
being approached, sheep and shed their sky and shout. Oh no! What's his name? Because like Krog was just the first thing I could think of.
I mean, Krog is just the barbarian sounding name,
I don't want to be too.
but we could give him a fancy name instead. Well, before thinking of a name, it's like, is he just like a human bandit? Is he maybe a different race?
I'm happy to just do half orc barbarian style thing.
Yeah, because if we are doing like half orc kind of, then a name like Krog kind of does make more sense. Or like Gorgak, um, hmm,
Jack actually.
Trodark.
You know what? Just for the pun, how about we call him Wolf? Start with a U.
I am Wolf in sheep's clothing. You
Yeah,
could
pretty
not
much.
detect me.
Oh no, Wolf.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
Wolf's.
I was at an earlier point thinking about doing like a wolf in sheep's clothing pun, so I'm glad that you've beaten me to it.
So okay, he will shout, "Oh no, Wolf's cover is blown. Must fight back." And he will to combat. However, as soon as Wolf takes damage, will then say, "Oh no, Wolf is hurt," and cover also blown on away. Point. Wolf will run fast and taking all the opportunity. So, all right. So,
Yeah, this becomes less of a fight and more of like an amusing moment.
yeah,
But
exactly.
like when the party realize that they've hit this guy and he runs away and like he's just taken the hits like a champ. It goes from, oh, this is not a problem at all, to, wait, why is he running? Is he okay in the head? Is he fine? What's going on?
Powerful, covered in chain tattoos shaped to a head. So he's nice and memorable, and he just runs off.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. At this point, the players can return to Slate Town and give Al the jar of 5 leaf clovers if they haven't already. Um, I
Mhm.
like to imagine if they attack him first. Okay, wait. If the players attack the successfully strange sheep, uh, and run away. Okay, so it's basically
Mhm.
it'll lead to the exact same thing, like in a different way.
Yep.
Yeah. So we get the introduction of who he is, and then he's gone. He's it's like, yep, I'm done. I'm gone.
So I like this because the mystery of Wolf can lead into some fun things we can do once we get back to Al.
He can be a barbarian, I'd say. Let's just give him play levels barbarian, because if I remember
Well,
correctly,
there's
barbarians.
also just the berserker like mob in like the monster manual.
I do want to level him up though. That's the thing. Like,
Well, it's easy enough to level up an NPC like this.
Do berserkers have extra movement speed by any chance?
They're just 30 for the time being.
That's why I was hoping to like make him barbarian, because if I remember correctly, barbarians just flat out get extra movement speed, don't they?
They eventually do.
Oh, they don't get it at level 1 or 2? Wait, hang on.
I think barbarians might get it early.
Oh, they get it at level 5. Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just, you know what? Yeah, let's just make it the berserker for now, and we'll just level them up. Um,
Hmm.
I guess having like 60 something hit points against a bunch of level 2 characters, even if they were all like sneak attacking rogues, would
Yeah.
still take a while to take down.
hmm the only potential problem would be something like a someone like a cleric who has like maybe command or something.
Old person. Wait, you don't get
Yeah.
old person. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we're going into this with the idea that um, Wolf can be taken down the same way that even though it's unlikely Sasha can be taken down, she can be taken down as well.
So, uh, I am immediately thinking of a campaign that I ran a little while back. What a Deep Dragon Heist,
Yeah.
which has a bunch of important NPCs
Oh,
that you can fight and you can potentially defeat early in the campaign. And if they would turn up later, what it does is it just says, if this NPC has been defeated by this point, replace them in this encounter with X.
mm-mm.
Usually like a generic NPC of roughly the same strength. Or sometimes a named NPC who is pretty similar. Like I remember in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, like there is a mind flayer. Ooh, I like mind flayers. But he's meant to turn up in a dungeon if if you get involved with him like later on. You do not have to. Dragon Heist is great because there's like 4 different campaigns in one. But you do technically meet him early on. Like
Like call
like
him off to someone else or something.
no, you just get to. I won't go into the full details in case someone plays it out, but you do get an opportunity to meet this mind flayer at some point in time before the dungeon where you would normally actually fight him. But things can happen. Players can kill powerful enemies all the time, and sometimes you want to use an NPC a bit more. Like maybe you find that this particular mind flayer is kind of interesting, and you want to like sprinkle them around the place a little bit for some flavor. Like either way. But if something happens to him, it's the book's like, hey, if he is eliminated, he is replaced by this mind flayer who has these goals,
I,
so that there is still basically something for you to use later on.
I,
So, for example, if Wolf somehow gets defeated here, we can just be like, if Wolf has been defeated, replace him with X.
I, I'm of the mind that we give it an easier encounter because in my head, these named bandits were
hmm
previously the bandit bosses for their own
Yeah,
gangs before they got pulled into the chain cult or chain gang.
yeah.
Um, and in my head, what I want to do with them is if they're not around, the bandit encounters in the future become easier because it's not.
Like I'm fine with them being easier. I still want to maybe have the same numbers. Like for example, with like
Oh, I see
Wolf,
what you mean. Yeah,
he is a half orc. He gets half orc advantages,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I would replace him with just a generic berserker, for example.
Sure, I get that.
So it is easier, but still has the same kind of flavor and for like the actual encounter design when we design them.
Thing I kind of want to do with them, like long
hmm
term, is like near the end of the campaign, like
Yeah,
the final dungeon or something. The bandits aren't really allied with you, but they've been backstabbed by the devils. So they all band together, and that's where you get the bandit adventuring party essentially.
yeah.
And at that point, they're helping the party.
Hmm.
I kind of like see like, oh, if you spared these bandits, then eventually they'll
Mm.
come back and help you guys, sort of thing.
Yeah, because like I think so far, Dasher retreating, Wolf retreating, that's two bandits that could potentially come back and become reoccurring characters.
You know what? I
And
might even make that a point of something to point out from Silver Toes. Um,
mhm.
Silver Toes after escape, Silver Toes will then mention that he thinks there's a reward on that specific bandit's head being brought in alive to sort of like encourage the players to, if they do fight these guys, it won't be to kill them, so they won't be like, I don't know, pushing them off a 50-foot like drop or something like that.
What we can do, easy as, if we go back to Slate Town,
Okay.
maybe the mayor or the seneschal has basically put out basically a um, we want to bring the bandit leaders to justice and we want to prove a point. So we want you to bring us if you can, bring us the bandit leaders alive so we can, like publicly, like maybe not like gallows, but like put them into like stockades or something to
Oh,
kind of to dissuade people from banditering in the future.
do we? What name do we give the seneschal?
Well, it doesn't have to be the seneschal; it could just be the mayor.
We
But
have a
basic,
mayor.
we do have well,
Oh,
technically we don't have a mayor; we have a baron.
yeah, and he's not usually around. Seneschal wants the
Yeah,
five the example of and will reward all of it. I still want Silver Toes to mention it just because
yeah. Well,
uh
yeah. So Silvertoe's mentioning it will help establish that idea into people's minds.
there are second about rules because I swear we.
Yes, we did do a rumor thing at some point.
Oh, okay, it's that
I
for
think I think it was technically at the start of the this
Silver
current term.
Toes. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Okay, so for here we can say
Hmm.
the Senegal wants the leaders, minor or otherwise, of the bandits be captured or a captured alive. So this is the uh, discover there are posters. Okay, so you know what? When we find Sasha,
Hmm.
okay,
You could do a quick little history check to see if you recognize it from a poster.
uh, bomb history check. What DC 10?
Um, 10 if they've seen the poster, maybe like 13 if they haven't recently.
You know, let's say 12. Advantage save posters. So we can say, oh, you can roll advantage since you've seen these bandit posters.
Hmm.
Um, what gang would she? What, so she would have been the bandit boss of her specific gang. What do we call this gang?
Ooh, yeah, because like our little bandit leaders are all their own like bandit leaders from our group, right?
And they might even have like a little subtitle below their name, like a caption thing, Borderlands, something like that.
Yeah. Uh, Sasha, like,
Sasha uh the snake eater or something like that. That she okay. What's her shtick? What's her spells?
well, we've got her like at the moment we have just like a generic bandit wizard stat block for her. which has like burning hands and like firebolt
Hey, this is Sasha the Cinder.
from the Cinder Gang.
Uh, Sasha the Burning Ember the of the Cinder Gang, or was uh, what's the word for being like combined into but for being absorbed
Yeah.
to Chain Gang. Okay. And then we can do another history check, like recheck BC 16, Cinder Gang were smugglers, generally avoided direct confrontations. And this is like kind of matches with how they've been behaving up until now.
Yep.
They're smugglers, so they're smugglers, hostage takers, and generally avoid patient. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of who she is.
Mm-hmm. And then being like flashy with fire to dissuade potential fights. Fits pretty good. Gives more personality.
Right, so we'll put that above.
Yeah, we'll want to like when we fully like PDFify things,
This will be
have like
made
and
neater.
yeah, made neater and will probably be in like the actual section for like Sasha.
Exactly. All right. So Wolf, what's his deal? So I think.
Uh, I I am 100% already on like the Wolf Raiders,
Oh, the
except he intended it for it to be Wolf as in his name, and everyone has just assumed it is like, like the actual animal Wolf Raiders.
but like, yep, yep. They've taken like, so he doesn't understand why his friends all howl and stuff like that.
Yeah, um, he's like, good, yeah. It's like, oh, it is good, guys. You're all howling again. Yeah, let's go, team. Wolf Raiders out. Everyone starts howling, and he's just like, okay,
Like, why are you guys? You know what? Never mind. Wolf Raiders. Okay, okay.
yep,
History. So notice how I spelt wolf wrongly.
mm-hmm,
DC DC 16. It's actually spelt wolf with a U. So it's wolf raiders. His men usually howl before every raid, using their leader every time. You
and
know,
that
you know
that
what?
just endears you a bit to Wolf as well.
You know what?
He's just a
He
bit
is
of
a
a
half
coward.
orc
He's a bit of an idiot.
you know what? He doesn't even have a wolf head on his like
Yep.
tattoos. It's just they're just chains, so he doesn't. He has no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He often ambush and raid caravans. So ambush tactics, so like that's what he was trying to do here,
Yep.
but obviously it failed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is I'm really liking it. So I think we should make like 4 bandits, but like we won't have them all appear right now.
Yeah. No. I think what is important, at least going forward, is that we need to show Wolf, or at least the Wolf Raiders section of the Chain Gang again soon, to establish that Wolf is more than just himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think, yeah, at this point in time, players return to Slate Town, give Al the jar of 5 loose clovers if they haven't already. So it's like, cool, quest over. Next stage of the quest would theoretically begin, but there's going to have to be preparations
Right.
for,
Can
next
we?
stage.
We could say, okay, go to Slate Town Quest document.
Hmm?
All right, so I'm gonna make a new document. I'm gonna call it Slate Town Quests.
Yeah, because I think the natural point to here is being like having Al, I think, starting something and being like, hey, you guys have done good. You're gonna have to stick around a couple of days maybe because I have to prepare for our for like an expedition or something.
Not even that. Like, what if Al doesn't actually know how to make the entire potion yet? Like, he's still researching it and such like that.
Yep.
But he says like, oh, okay, so
Our
quest.
next ingredient is the phoenix feather, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying like maybe he doesn't
Mm,
realize it's a feather specifically. He's just saying it has to do something with fire. I'm pretty sure to get, but I have to like grind. I have to like extract the luck from these
yeah,
clovers
it's
first.
like I need to extract luck from these and then do a couple of experiments to try to work out what reacts and how before I can send you off to get the next ingredient. Yeah,
Well, that he extract luck from the five clovers, and it will take time. So once he gets this part done, it will reveal what kind of ingredient will need next.
yeah.
That said, leaves it will have something fire. So that'll help the players like sort of, oh, okay, maybe we should find something for fire protection. This gives the players this gives players a chance to something in town. And that's where they would meet the rest of the NPCs and such like that, the markets.
Yeah. Well, also, one thing that really comes to mind is like, okay, it's going to take a couple of days. Does everyone live in town? Because if not, they're going to need to, find an inn. And
Yeah,
this is a great opportunity to pull up one of the quests we joked about early on in the Slate Town stuff.
the Sultan Lickin?
Well, yes, the Salt and Lick Inn, but also we joked that there might be a suspicious number of rats around.
Ah, right, right.
And so we can do some of the rat stuff and get in good with the Salt and Lick Inn for those who actually need to, well, find a place to stay.
Mm, mm.
Because not everyone is going to theoretically come from town.
I was gonna say, can we have at the start of all this, like the players like traveling to here, like they don't start in Slate Town specifically? Or do we want, are we okay with the option of people coming from Slate Town?
It is probably easier just for logistics sake to say everyone's coming to Slate Town, whether they're arriving via boat or via car.
See if, yep, job, backstory, how to begin. Note, none of the players are from Slate Town and are recommended to have been
Yeah.
arrived by ship
Yep.
or land. It doesn't matter. Okay.
And then just get direct. Once they arrive in town, they get directed towards the really cool Rainbow Tower.
Yeah, because they got their dreams that they're supposed to help Al and
And
stuff.
yeah, and it's a really easy to find
It's a landmark.
landmark.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Uh,
yeah,
good. want to keep going with anything on this quest, or do we want to add anything to Silvertoe's farm, or do you think that's good?
I think for a first pass, this is pretty good.
Alright. I can't.
My only possible thought is maybe move the level up to level 2 after after the return of Jumper.
So when do you want the players to level up? After Jumper?
After Jumper might be better now
Okay, well,
because and maybe tone down the bear, tone down the number of wolves. Because I feel like before I was thinking potentially having a major fight at against Wolf, but if Wolf is going to immediately back away, then that's not much of a fight, which means it's safe for the party to be involved, which means now this is a much better place to actually level up for the night, level up for the day, because this feels like a nice cohesive little mini adventure, getting Jumper, getting him back, all nice cohesive adventure, and thus level 2 can now be Slate Town.
uh, it's a pack of 3 wolves or a number equal to the adventurers
-1,
minus
yeah.
1. Okay.
Yeah, and this becomes a nice little fight. Still dangerous, but not too dangerous.
Players receive use. Players then, whatchamacallit, level up. Level 2. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to go to Slate Town quests and maybe
Yep.
put in like little thresholds of like potions they can unlock and like
Mm-hmm.
ingredients that they get Al to make and stuff like that in
Yep.
between. Um, so I think for ease, and this is gonna sound really stupid, Al gives them a magical bag which can like identify and hoover up ingredients so they players don't have to keep track of it.
So they could just put it in the ingredient bag.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That doesn't even have to be magical. We can just say this is the ingredient badge. We'll just say that your characters having can put stuff in it and scavenge for it and such like that. They need
Mm-hmm.
flavors, and based on how long you do it for or where you do it, you can get like X units of potion ingredients.
Um, maybe, but that might start making things a bit complicated.
Okay, so do you think we just instead of doing that as they go along, maybe Al unlocks like inspiration to make other different potions besides his immortality, like his
Yeah,
res.
I'd say as he's experimenting with ingredients, he will occasionally stumble across a eureka moment.
Yeah, and then that'll give him more potions to
Yeah,
sell and
and
stuff like that.
and I still like the idea of certain potions, like the Hill Giant potion.
Like being very specific side quest.
Yeah.
Okay, so uh, potions for sale. So at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be a health potion, 50 GP, and I think that'll be it. Do we want to alchemist fire, of course, fire. Uh, Not really holy water because that's a ceremony type thing, but they can get it at a religious area in Slate Town. Oh yeah, that's actually a thing. Do we want to put an old church somewhere?
Put a church of some kind.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that's probably a good idea to have a church somewhere.
I mean,
We should
other
probably consider that next time, right?
yeah. Next, Oh yeah, no, it's getting a bit late. Next time we can figure out a church thing. But for now, health potion, alchemist fire, sounds good. Potions for sale at this point in time.
Yeah.
Right, everybody. That's enough from Recipe for Adventurer for today, tonight, or afternoon, or wherever you are. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Otherwise, Sai will be very sad, and nobody wants a sad Sai. Isn't that right, Sai?
You will destroy my livelihood forevermore.
We don't actually get paid for this yet. Yet. But one day we will.
Maybe.
All right. Bye bye.